Does it cost extra to get your earlobes pierced because they're so big?
No, I think it's less. I never wanted to get, because that's so funny that you touched upon that. I used to get like Dumbo or some shit, but I was like, did Dumbo have big earlobes? I think he did, but nah. And then so funny is like now like everyone has gauges. People are like, you have the best ear for gauges, because they will just, you don't need to stretch your fucking ear.
Isn't that, do you think gauges come from like African tribes?
They're definitely tribal.
Really?
Yeah, they're definitely tribal, because I think my homeboy, native, he said, yeah, they're tribal.
Yeah, I wasn't sure because I feel like people don't talk about it. Right now it's like hot topic more than it is.
Well, it's like a mohawk. Mohawk, that's Native American. That's native shit.
Nice. You ever get your
even tattoos?
What about, you ever get like you're Asian? Because you're Mexican, right?
No, I'm Ecuadorian, which is like basically, to be even Latino is three things. You're all of three. You're indigenous people, you're African, you're European. But you can look at someone and see what they're more of, right? I have a very native head. So it's like native head. But also I have like bigger lips. That's an African trait. Then I have no ass. That's a white trait. So.
Do you ever, because I think sometimes, because I think Carlos Mencia, I think he's actually El Salvadorian.
Yeah, I think so. Freak. I did do a show and I totally forgot what the heck he was. Yeah, something like that, yeah.
But then he's actually like Mexican. Oh no,
that's his audience he plays off, yeah. It's kind of what you had to do back then, though.
Do you feel like do you just say up straight like I'm Ecuadorian?
I'm Ecuadorian. Yeah, it's part of my. I have like a joke about it. I'm like, I'm Ecuadorian, but I'm Mexican when it makes sense. Like, there's a party, there's a fight, pick sides, whoever side's winning.
Because honestly, after listening to I think Joey Coy and hearing like his experience, it's honestly not too different. Because my family's from Dominican Republic, so you know about that VIX and all that.
I know a lot of Dominicans. I was raised with them.
Oh, in Arizona?
I got an aunt that's No, I'm from New York.
Oh, which part?
Westchester, CB Hollow.
Okay, I was just over in Yonkers. So
yes, 15 minutes from where I'm at. I have aunts that are Dominican. I got cousins that are Dominican, because everyone just went together. But yeah, no, they're Latin influenced Philippines. They were invaded by the Spaniards.
Oh yeah.
So that's why they have like last names like Sanchez and first names like Maria.
Yeah, I hear somebody speak Tagalog, and I'm like, oh, that sounds Spanish. And he's like, yeah, because your people raped my people. I'm like, that's a fact.
They all went together. Yeah, that's the main Dominican Republic, the island Hispaniola. Half of it was French, and the other half was Spain, and the Taínos and stuff like that. Now I really like history.
No, yeah, I know, because you said
that's my shit.
Prior, you got a history degree?
No, I'm half a semester short.
Okay.
I did 3.5 years.
Do you
in Mercy College.
Do you think that gives do you make callback jokes like on history shit and you're like,
yeah, because a lot of people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They go, you know what's so funny? I went to Peru and they speak Mexican. People are like oblivious. Also, they only know what they know. So if they live in Arizona all their life, their main connection to anyone speaking Spanish is Mexican. And to them, things that are spoken in Spanish are Mexican and vice versa. Mexican is Spanish. Or whatever. And then people think you're Spanish, well then you're like, oh, that means I'm from Spain. And then you go into that whole thing and then, you know what, just call me Mexican. It's like, it's almost easier. It's like, whatever, Yeah,
it's like, I don't really take pride, because, that's like a white girl thing. Like, I'm half this, half this. I'm like, I'd rather not talk about it and just be like.
Well, also, I've noticed that in Arizona, in New York, like, everyone's prideful of what they have. If you're Irish, you're Irish. Which, like, Irish and Italian is like the most of, like, New York. It's like mixes of that. But there's like a parade for everything, which I like being there because I learned so much about everything. And you should know where it came from. You should know why why you burn so much in the sun, or maybe why you're more prone to alcoholism, or maybe why because it may sound stereotypical, but there is stuff that brings you back there and why it's like that. So a lot of people don't know it, and I mean, it's up to them to find out, but that's why I can understand why somebody could be like, it's like the reporter who was in, I think, Toronto, and they have a black hockey player. Mm-hmm. And she called him black, and then she goes, excuse me, African American. And he goes, I'm Canadian. Do you know what I mean? It's like so hardwired that they don't even know the right thing to say because they only know what they know. So yeah, no, Mexican, no, but I get it. We're here. This is where everything's at. If I was in anywhere else, they'd be like, oh, are you this, are you that? Because that's all we have here.
Yeah, when I was walking at Westgate the other day, I actually heard some people speaking Spanish, and their dialect was so different.
Of course.
I was like, it was actually Colombians.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, wow, that shit just sounds...
I got an Andes Colombian, too. Well, it's just like this. Best way to describe that is English in New York. People who speak English in New York, whatever part, Bronx, New York, Yonkers, Sleepy Hollow, doesn't matter. New York, English spoken in Louisiana, both English, right? But fucking one's like, to me, I can't really understand the other one so well. Those are the complete different dialects because they're basically their own region, right? So they speak the way that region speaks. Where over here, you know, it's also muffled with the French and all of that. So that whole has like.
Are you fluent in Spanish?
Yeah.
Okay. How is it when you like listen to Spaniards talk? Because I heard that's like complicated.
It's like you was listening to somebody from England.
Oh really?
Yeah. It's like okay. You know, when you're young, you kind of go like, why do they have a lisp? But that's just the way it's said. You know, it's like when English people say like what's the Ednet?
Yeah.
Or brilliant or whatever the fuck they say. Like I mean, it's just the way they talk, and then we have our take on that, and it's been brought over here.
Have you done stand up in Spanish?
No, you know what it is? Stand up in Spanish is pretty difficult because it doesn't translate. It doesn't translate as much as like Tom Segura was like doing Spanish stand up, and he was doing like he brought this Mexican stand up with him, and he was wondering why these jokes were bombing, and he went up to him and he goes, "Cause it just sucks." He goes, "It's not funny." It's almost like, and also, stand-up is big in the United States because we have the freedom to say what we want. Like, stand-up, like in Germany, like there's this German girl, she does stand-up, and she was talking about it. She was like, right now, we're at where you guys were in the 70s. Like, people are very offended with what we're saying. They don't understand why we're trying to talk like that. Same thing, like in any Spanish-speaking country. They go, why are you going to go, like, fuck your mother, and like they're going to like extremes. They don't understand that part yet. They'll understand it in a movie. Obviously, they'll do anything like things like that, but it doesn't translate. It's kind of goofy.
Do you notice
goofy humor?
Because I noticed when I went to Mexico, because I'm not like fluent in Spanish, but I don't have to have like a basic level conversation.
Sure.
It's more on like actions and then like the like accentuation of like your emotions.
It's physical humor sometimes.
Yeah.
Like go watch. Like Sábado Gigante, right? It's like this major show that was played on for many, many years. And it was physical humor, somebody falling, pie to the face, that type of stuff where like everyone can enjoy it. The dark stuff, again, is not as accepted yet. And it will be at one point. That's why that's why we kill here, because we're able to talk like that, and other people from other countries only wish that they could talk like that there because they can't. Slowly, it's coming along, but not as fast. So when she said it like that, I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. It was like 2018, and she spoke English, and she was like, yeah, now I'm doing comedy in English. She was like, we're basically where you guys were at in the early 70s.
Mm-hmm. How long have you been doing stand-up for?
In August it'll be 3 years.
3 years. How was like of course it's still a short time.
Yeah, very
What's
short.
the progression like you noticed like, because I feel like, you know, the 5-month comic is the most confident comic in the world. They're like, give me a special. What's your perspective like from your right now? I
think just like anything, it's like, believe it or not, I used to be like 70 pounds lighter, right? It's a box. And I remember when I first came into boxing, I thought, since I was kind of in shape, I know how to fight. And then I was training hard, and I think 6 months went by, and my trainer goes, hey, remember in the beginning and, you know, whatever? He goes, if you would have fought the guy that came in the beginning, you yourself, I was like, oh, I'd destroy him. At that 1 year mark, hey, if you were to fight the guy at the beginning, I was like, oh, it wouldn't be fair. I probably wouldn't even fight him. So you're as confident. I mean, confidence is a good part of it. You shouldn't say like you suck, but you should also be real with yourself and be like, all right, I wasn't as good as I was. I didn't know anything. I was asking people where the open mics were. People were like, fuck you. I'm not going to tell you. I was serious. It was like that. So I was like, oh, okay. And I remember those people, and it's good for them. Some of them I try to book still, because to me, it's never personal. But
that's petty as fuck. Like, don't come to the open mic.
No, that was like, where is it? And they're like, I don't know. Look it up, dude. Like, that's how it was. And I was like, all right, cool. But no, I think also not every comic is the same. Like, as far as Bill, I saw a comic that was 1 month into it, and I was like, damn, mad structure, like, perfect punchline, knew how to wait. I was like, where the fuck? Maybe he's just a student of the game, and now he's probably like, now I'm officially going to go on.
How old was he?
22, maybe?
That's interesting, because I know I have a buddy that does stand-up, and he says he just seems more, like, I feel like he has more life and he has more like he knows how to hone it a bit more. Whereas like you're 19 years old, I've noticed people are more awkward then because they're just like they just got out
And
of fucking
sometimes
high
give
school.
less BS. Like they're like, fuck it, I'm gonna go for it. But you gotta think of it like this too. Not every comic's the same, right? There may be a comic that starts today and gets a TV pilot in 18 months. You know, like maybe the kid is real fucking like talented. I don't know. And I remember we were having this discussion. I forgot in what club. And one of the like senior comics, which I thought he was gonna have like a negative output on people moving fast, but he actually had a positive one. He goes, okay, we all know the guy that played basketball in high school. Pretty good. Went to college. Hey, pretty good. 4 years, did great. Did not get drafted. Went overseas to play so he can get real good. Played a few years there, got excellent. Came back to the States, is in the G League for 2 years, and then made it to the big show. And he's this wonderful story, right? And then there's Kobe. High school to pros.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you can't say like, oh, you have to do open mics for 5 years. Oh, then you got to do it for 10 years. No, because you're not going to put Kobe in college. You know what I mean? Like there is a guy out there, I bet you, who is super talented, young guy, that he's just going to get it and we're going to be like, wow, amazing. Like, I don't know how he did it. Like, or she. Great. Like, that's amazing. I think that's a better way of looking at it rather than like, I've been doing it for this amount of time, so you should be doing it for that amount of time. Mm-hmm. It's a very like narcissistic way of thinking about it.
I've heard, you know, like just like honestly, I've heard people talk shit about you for how
Sure.
how fast you get stage time and
sure.
kind of you went up. Do you, because you also like harness like a business side of it, mm-hmm. do you just approach that with any like anything you get into, or is it just kind of like why not put together my own show at like a year?
Yeah, why not? I mean, like, you know what's so funny? The shows I've put together, I hosted. I didn't even headline it. One I headlined, and then one I was like, I did one I headlined it. Nice. I did 20, 25 minutes. Great. It was cool. But then I tried to see if I could do it again. And I said, hey, what if I give all the comics that I think are cool 10 minutes in front of a nice audience, like 200 plus people. They don't got to bring anybody. I'll bring everyone, and I'll pay them. Only person that's going to talk shit is somebody who wanted to get booked and didn't. And that's the thing. You're always going to be spoken about. It just comes with it. Even people who don't like me, and I know they don't like me, I would still like to book them. I would still like to pay them. And that's something like I won't let what I feel personally take over what I'm trying to do. It's never that. It's always love. Like, and that's the sad part about it is that like I'm always like, hey, I think you're really talented.
So that's a very like emotionally mature thing because I went through I used to do network marketing. I read like maybe like 200 self-help books because it's just like that's what you
those
do.
are dope. Those are dope books to read.
Yeah, and I feel like there's certain points kind of like this is kind of like just regurgitation.
Yeah, and redundant. Yeah.
And I noticed like after. I feel like it gives me a perspective most people that are like my age don't have, especially in the comedy scene when they're just talking shit about like this, and I'm like, oh, I like what somebody said, like, well, if this person gets seen out in Arizona, then there's going to give more eyes to Arizona. That means more comics will be seen in Arizona because more attention-wise. What kind of like, did you like invest in yourself personally for that, or is it just kind of like?
With me, like, yeah, I read up, I go watch people. I'm a fan of people here. Like, you'll see me actively post. People going, this is one of the best comics in Arizona. You know, I will do that. There's some people who their ego won't allow them to do that. They just won't. They won't say, I love these comics, man. Boom, boom, boom. I remember I had done like my top 5. It was like Reese and Luis and Savannah and some other people and people who I like. And then let's say they all just don't like me. I don't care. I like you. I think you're good. I think talent is talent. Because you could be a hater, and if let's say I just hate someone, and they go out there and kill, hey man, you're good. You're really good. I can't take that away from you. Like, there's no critic that could write up and be like, hey, this person sucked. No, we saw it in real time. The audience tell us what they felt like. They liked it. That's it. So that's why you can't do it. With me, my investment in myself,
Because I know people that are your age that wouldn't like are still talking. That wouldn't be that as generous.
You want to know why, man? And it sucks because, like, it holds them back. It really does. It holds them back. I've been part of conversations where it's like shit talking, and I'm like, hey, I can't be part of it. Straight up. I was like, hey, just say what you gotta say, let it last for 30 seconds, but after this, let's keep it moving because let's talk about how we're gonna do something. There's even comics where like, I've heard people talk shit about them and I'm just like, hey, what's holding you back? And then there's like a whole thing that they have background that I'm like, shit, if people knew that, one, that's good material, and two, maybe they'd understand you better than thinking that you're a jerk. Because if people feel like if they even like open themselves up, that they're going to leave themselves open. Dude, if every comic in AZ was just like, hey, I hate Eric, whatever. All right, cool. But we need to know receipts and what happened, right? Other than just like, I just don't like it. Mm-hmm. That's fine. Like, I'm okay with that. But I think the way I'm going to go about it is better. If I really entertained anyone and to have like, hey, man, I hate this person. Like, it is taken away from everything I'm trying to do.
Do you do roast and shit like that?
No, I don't do roast. I mean, I was part of one inadvertently, and it was fun. People joked on me. I like it. I think for you to, if you can't laugh at yourself, man, it's a bad thing. You take yourself too serious.
I just wasn't sure like what realm. It's just like that. I don't even.
I just like stand up. Yeah. I think I respect the roaster though.
It's fucking hard.
I respect. Like I watch, like the back in the day when you could actually roast. I've watched like Nikki Glazer, Natasha Leggero. Why did I pick two women to be in? Because they fucking kill. And also they write on it. They also wrote like what's his name? Kill Tony. Mm-hmm. Tony, what's his name?
The guy that killed Tony.
Kill Tony, yeah. His
last name, right?
So it's killing me because I watch his show all the time. But he wrote like a lot of the people's, like the celebrities' roast jokes. He wrote them. Actually, Snoop Dogg had said that he had put like these 5 comics. He was talking on Rogan about it. And he said how he wrote 5 black comics. And it was Tony. And he goes like, fuck you motherfuckers. He's killing y'all right here. Blah, blah, blah. He's this little fucking guy. But the guy's like, it's venom. He's the man. Like, you got to respect that. There's storytellers. There's like I was watching Mark Norman talk to Bert Kreischer. Bert Kreischer's storyteller. Mark Norman's like, boom, 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 boom. One joke after the other, one joke after the other. Which to me, that's so hard. Bert Kreischer storytelling, so hard. But they're different realms, different things. We're talking about,
Which one do you lean to? Because I think I've seen your stand
I've done a couple of one-liners. I do like a story. I do like a bit that lasts 5 to 7 minutes. I like that. And I can stretch it. And I've shortened it because of time that I've had. So I'm like, all right, I got to make this bit from 5 minutes to 3. This bit from whatever. I'll do both.
Because I think I like the one-liner style. I think that's hard about it. If you're doing one-liners like Stephen Wright that don't even have a correlation between each other, that's like damn near impossible to remember, at least for me. Yeah.
It is tough. Like I think I've tried to count how much like Mark Norman's Out to Lunch special that's on YouTube. He just goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's some jokes that have more depth into it that he says. Like he has this abortion joke about, and that he said that like a woman told him that works at Planned Parenthood that he was I'm thinking about getting rid of this joke, and she goes, I think you should keep it. He goes, I think I'm gonna get rid of it. Nah, you should keep it. Nah, I'm gonna get rid of it. Nah, you should keep it. And it became more of like it was more than one dimensional. So I do like stuff like that. But hey man, if it makes people laugh, do it. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It makes people laugh, do it. Go ahead. Do it. I think hey, if you Gallagher, right? Smash fucking watermelons and shit. Mm-hmm. If that's what people like, hey man, do it. Like people clown on Carrot Top. Rogan had him on, and it's very hard to do what he does. And the reason why he did props, he said it so no one could say that he was doing what everybody else was doing. That's the only reason he did it. He did it so that he could say, hey, you can't say I'm copying you because I'm doing this. And look, he's making millions of dollars a year.
I feel that's for sure. I think as a residency at the Vegas, right?
Yeah, residency. He was once bigger, but now I think I even checked. It's like a few million a year.
Even still,
contract.
Like, Tosh Daniels, or Daniel Tosh, I forgot what's first.
Daniel Tosh, yeah.
I haven't seen him. He hasn't made a special for fucking.
But he still travels.
Yeah, that's awesome. I wish I could see him.
He still travels. Still great comic. I know he was upset when Rob Dyrdek. He thought that Rob Dyrdek stole his idea.
100%.
But then like Rob Dyrdek has a different story of how he was in development. But yeah, no, Tosh Point was definitely first. Because Ridiculous came out, I was like, oh, it's another spinoff of this or whatever. But it's like X Factor, American Idol, whatever. The Voice, all this shit.
Quick pivot, because I know you said like, how is it with the business side as far as, because like you put together your own special, right?
Yeah, I shot it. I did everything. It was cool. if be honest with you, I'd love to redo it.
How is well? Of course, like it's been like you so early in the game. There's so much. There's like when you first start something, there's just like a bolt, like a leap.
Yeah.
What do you think's like? What would you change? Is it like cringe for you to watch?
It was 45 minutes long, 46. I was upset that it wasn't an hour because I felt like I thought it should be. But then I looked at like Shane Gillis's is like 43, and then Akash just put out like a 28-minute special. I know Brendan Schaub's putting out a 29 minutes, 30-minute special. Everyone's reinventing what a special could be. Some people are putting 15-minute specials, which I think are dope. Mm-hmm. Where I kind of want to do that here in the Valley, where we pick a venue, we get maybe 5-6 comics, we'll have a solid 15, we record them, and we send them out like almost like the best of AZ sort of thing, or just AZ, whatever.
That's how it is on Netflix right now. They have
they shorten it up because they've noticed people stop listening after minute 27 and 1 hour specials.
Personally, yes, what I
typically,
do too.
Yeah. That's like the range. So now they're doing shorter specials. Like if you watch with the comics, what the hell is it called? It's the one with Nikki's on it and a bunch of, anyways, Mark Norman's on. They're like 20 minutes, 19 minutes, 25 minutes, and they're like, it's bang after, and it's a great, I mean, I rewatched them. That's how good they are. I'm like, shit. But I could see why an hour is sometimes too long. I think because back in the day, only like 3 or 4 comics got a special at all. And when you watched it, it was like an event, like shit, like this is gonna be on, like, oh damn, Chris Rock is releasing, a special.
I only watch, personally, if it's an hour, I think like, if it's a big name, it has to be like real top tier.
Yeah. Somebody you like.
Yeah, but if it's like a newer comic, I don't really know them, it's just like, I'm probably not.
I kind of want to watch their clips first.
Yeah. How is it with the marketing side of like, what did you expect versus how it turned out for the special?
It's a lot of teamwork. I could have never done, so I have a lot of friends that are in the entertainment field. And not so much like, and not even the same thing as comedy. Like my homegirl Mel, she does like fashion, modeling on a very high level. My other boy does like something along the same lines, but like as far as like fashion, as dressing someone up. I had another friend who's just a businessman who knows how to like market. And they just happen to be my friends, literally. And I remember we had thought about it. It was during the pandemic, and then so hey, let's just put all our heads together. And she's like, I would love this as my portfolio. I would love to be able to put on this event for you, red carpet it, do this, do the visuals, do that, everything. And then we had a connection with someone else who were like, hey, we'd love to film it and pitch it to somewhere.
So was a lot of it just kind of, because it sounds like, I'm not sure if they're charging for that, or is that just kind of like this?
The main camera people charged. That was thousands of dollars.
And how much did it cost like upfront, just like put down, not like profit, but just down? Oh,
down. I mean, what we needed to out of pocket sales was $20,000 out of pocket, but willing to take a check after the show. So also the way it worked, which is cool with the venue, it was during the pandemic, so we got a sweet deal on it. So typically what they would have been charging for, say every ticket's $1, they wanted maybe originally 30 cents out of every dollar. Maybe now they wanted 10 cents, 15. Mm-hmm. They just wanted something in the casino that they were doing, and they just make something happen. But with that connection, I've met other people, and then I know at the same venue, like George Lopez will be there in a few weeks, and I got asked to go and just not open or anything, but just to visit and watch him and enjoy, because I love watching it. And then, but yeah, that's how it worked out. It worked out. The girl with the fashion plug knew the owner of the spot. We had a meeting. It wasn't a yes. 2 or 3 times over, we did it. Hey, cool, let's do it. And then it became like a project. And then people just wanted to be a part of it. People wanted to be part of it, even though like they weren't getting paid. Like I had friends that were like, hey, can I go during the dress rehearsal? Can I go and help? And they were posting, hey, buy tickets, People wanted to be a part of something, which me too. Like if anyone has something going big, whether it be comedy or just my friends, I'm always going to support. It's kind of like, the new thing with Kanye. He had the thing Netflix.
Yeah.
Cootie, right? Would follow him and just kind of just like, I don't know why, but I just want to support. I want to do this or whatever. Yeah. It was kind of like that. It was like they're homies. Same thing. That's all that happened. It was literally a group of people, and that's why being on some hater shit will never get you there.
Do you think it really minimizes the production for like, say, putting together a local show? You're like, this is just like easy peasy now.
Oh yeah, it definitely makes it easier because that was a fucking headache. I remember before the show, I told everybody to get out of my room because they gave me like a suite. It was like it was weird, man. It was not something that, but they were like, hey, we have open thing, whatever. And I was like, I need to sleep. I slept 2 hours before the show, and then literally they're like, all right, Eric, you got to be up in half an hour or 45 minutes. I'm like, can we order pizza? And they had pizza, and it came in, and I was up in 10, and I was eating pizza before and all that. And yeah, I mean, it definitely does. It's like you just started freaking dancing, and now you're like on tour with Madonna or some shit.
Was that your idea to do it, or was it somebody just?
A friend of mine was like, hey, let's try to do something. It was also like, hey, don't you have bills you need to pay? Don't you? And that's the thing. Another thing I would tell people: if I were to hand you this wad of money and tell you like, hey, not only do you get to practice on your thing, be able to do something, there's currently nothing going on in the world. That's another thing I think maybe not now that time has passed. There was nothing going on. You couldn't go out. It was half capacity a lot of these places. And this place was willing to do because it was kind of like a private event. We were able to get more people in. It was different. So we had nothing to do, something to do. And if everyone can cash out, everyone can have fun. It was nice because no one went out. No one was going to clubs. You couldn't stand up in a restaurant without.
Was it in Vegas?
No, this is right here. It was at Hilla River Casino.
Oh, okay.
It was nice. It was really, and they just redid it, and I was invited to their opening, and it was very nice. The guy was very good to me. His name is Ken. I'm actually staying there next weekend. Should be fun. But those things, connections, making, and I even tell comics that come to my open mic, I go, hey man, you should be leaving here with like 2 to 5 Instagrams. Like at least the comics or people in the audience. Because those are people you can hit up later. Like they saw you, they enjoyed you, and that's a good exchange. You guys should do that. And just little things like that. Like I'm always on my phone. I literally, if you message me, I'm pretty close to messaging you right back. If it's on IG, but Facebook, sometimes it doesn't really give me the alert. But
what got you into the mindset of Valley now? Because I noticed that same thing. I hung around. You're like, get his IG. You guys should connect.
Yeah, like, always. Yeah. Go get it. Because there's nothing like actually, someone taught me that. It was a woman who taught me that. And she met me, and I remember I was like 2 months into comedy. We went out to dinner. She goes, great, is that what you want to do? She goes, I'm going to help you. Her name's Christina. I'm going to help you. So, all right, whatever. Probably never going to help me. But every dinner we went to, and that was another thing. I was never like, let's go out to dinner. People I don't know. But I was like, hey, what do you do? Blah, blah, blah. And she would have everyone take their phones out. Hey, everyone put their information on everyone's phone. And it was very like, all right, I'll do it. Otherwise, it is a little awkward to be like, hey, what's your Instagram? But I learned that. So like even like the first big show I ever did was like in Tempe with this headliner I did not know, but he was a friend of my friend, and he was like, hey, can you do 15 minutes? I've never done anything past 5. It also made me work harder. Because if all you're working on is 5 minutes, that's all you'll ever have. So the day someone asks you for 15, you'll be stuck in the mud like, fuck, I don't have that. But sometimes you get there because like you get that nudge. So that's how I worked out with that. Like, even when I opened up for that guy, I stayed out, and he was talking to his friends, the headliner. He's my boy. I love him. But I was looking at everyone, I was like, did you like me? All right, cool. Can I follow you on Instagram? I had like 600 followers. You know, whatever. I was like, can I follow you? And they're like, you want to follow me? I was like, yeah. Because my mindset was like, if I follow you, you're going to follow me back. I'm the entertainment or the comedian. So if I'm asking to follow you, you're going to be like, yeah, of course I'll follow you back. The other person's going to be like, great. And those people have been people I lean on for inviting. So it's not like, oh, he's a business, whatever. It's just like, to me, logical. You know what I mean? If people enjoyed you, why wouldn't you want to know them? Or at least be connected to them. You don't have to hang out with them every day. But the day a flyer comes out, they'll probably hit you up like, hey, what time is that at? Even though it's on the flyer. You're going to be like, and then I send them the link. Here you go. Mm-hmm. It's about teaching that more to people in everything in business. I mean, you know about networking. It's like, it's hard, but it's worth it.
I think that's a gem right there, but I think it's just like knowing how to use it. I don't know. It's just like...
It's difficult. It's difficult because then you have, you know, let's say I'm with a girl. She doesn't like that I'm maybe asking women maybe for their Instagram. And then that is where another aspect of that part of the life is like having someone who understands that, hey, this is more than that. You know what I mean? And this is... Yeah, and then you have to have somebody who believes in you. Because I've been with comics where their girl, their man does not like it that they do this, and I say, hey, go ahead and just finish that off. I mean, that's my advice. You go ahead and do it when it does happen, because it will happen. Because if you're real about this, you can't have anything holding you back. Like me and my girl just broke up, a month ago. It wasn't because she's a horrible person, because I know whatever she was looking for, I cannot give to her right now. And I would be selfish stringing her along, promising something that's not going to happen anytime soon. And the day it comes, it will come. Maybe I'll get back with her. I don't know. But that's what it is. And you got to be honest with yourself in every aspect. So like, not that I want everyone here to have a big kumbaya in Phoenix, but I feel like the faster we do it and the majority that does it, this becomes a powerhouse. This becomes where everybody wants to come. There's enough clubs here now. There's going to be more opening, from what I understand, another 1 or 2. I heard, I don't know, before I speak too soon, but it's going to happen. This is going to be a hub. And when people come in town, are they going to be talking about you or how much you talk shit at open mics? Or how when someone who's performing, you're talking during their set, but telling them to shut up. But, these are all just like manners and shit. Like, if you've ever been to an open mic, I'll tell other comedians, hey, man, shut up. I'll get on the mic. Be like, hey, man, I love y'all, but as comedians, y'all should show more respect for the people. Or go outside. It's all good, because when you're up here, I'm going to be saying the same thing for you. So just having that equal, because a lot of people probably think like, oh, I run my own show, or I got this, I got that. Whatever, I'll keep talking during your set. And these are people who complain, go on podcasts, talk shit, and can't get booked for a goddamn thing. Because not only are they not really that good, because that's one aspect, but they're also not good to work with. You need both. You need to also be good, and that's the thing. Shit talking, great. I'm glad you have time for it. I really don't. Cool for you, awesome. If I see you, I know you ain't got shit to tell me, and I've seen it. Trust me. You tell me what people talk about. I've seen those people. When I walk in a room, I got none but love for them. And that's why they will never say shit to me. For whatever reason. That's good. I don't care. And I'm still, even if they were to say shit to me, I'm like, bro, good for you. Shalom, whatever the fuck religion you are. Hey, I hope everything works out for you.
As you are kind of going to like Mach 10, I feel like it's very essential to like credit, like, I don't know, just like analyze what you'd be working on. What are you trying to improve on right now?
Writing.
Do you feel like you like a lot of riff and crowd work and shit like that?
I was never good at that until like a year in. So it was funny because now people go, hey, you're good at riffing. I'm like, I was shit at riffing, but then I got better at it, and I let myself mess up a lot of times. So it was like once I was able to mess up a lot of times, then I got really good at it. Now I want to have a good story to tell. I do have good stories. I just want to make sure I say them right. But writing, overall, it's just writing, performance.
What is a daily, as far as creative wise, what's a daily thing you do?
Oh my gosh, like, I'm creative all the time. I was out eating with some friends yesterday, and this girl had made such a good reference. I've never thought of it, and I said, man, I'm gonna take that if that's okay with you. I'll say it, and I'll make it into a joke. But she said, like, I hate restaurants that have like good Instagrams of their food. She's like, she's getting catfished by the food, because when she sees it in person, it looks like shit. I really like that. I never thought of that too, because I do look at like, oh, this looks good, like, let me get that. And it comes out, it looks like shit. But I like that. So even then, she was like, in the middle of her talking, I decided to tell her, shut up real quick. In the middle of arguing with my girl, I may have said something so fucking funny, but I was serious. And I'd be like, hold on a second. And she's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, no, that was funny. And she was like, okay, I think you're cheating on me. You know what I mean? It's like, whatever it is, that's me. But then also I try, it's hard to do, but I try to set time where I'm like, all right, if I'm not going to write the jokes, let's write out things that have happened in my life. I'll have them all out, and I'll look up at my wall and be like, all right, today I'm going to try to dive deeper. Or I'll call the person I was with during that time, and they'll even fill me in on more shit that I forgot. Then I'm like, all right, so I'll do that. So that's how it goes. Always thinking about it. Always while I'm in the car, I think, hey, whatever, and I'll jot it down in a folder.
Yeah, right now I'm trying to do just 5 punches a day, so you get that compound effect of just
that's dope.
I think it helps to say them out loud. I sent some shit at open mics. Like, I've never said this joke out loud before. It misses a rhythm, but it's just like, it's nice.
It is nice. You're not supposed to kill it every time. Like, it's not going to happen. I've gone to places. I remember I was in Where was I? I was in Tacoma.
You were just there, right?
Yeah, I was just in Tacoma, and then I went to Seattle, which is they're like, I guess, half an hour away from each other. I want to say I did a 20-minute set. I think 12 minutes ate shit. I was just not relating to the crowd. And what I forgot, that's when I at like minute 12, I was like, what am I doing? They're not understanding this because I didn't even look out in the crowd and read the crowd like I usually do. So I changed it, and I think my last 7 minutes was pretty good. They laughed and shit.
Yeah, at least you ended it. At least you got maybe 4 IG followers.
Yeah. Oh, I did. I definitely did. I got like the owner's thing, like his IG. He said, I'd love to have you back. I was like, can I bring some comedians from AZ? He's like, love it. He had this restaurant, and then into this room was like this beautiful like stage, and it was nice. I was like, damn.
Have you turned this into like LLC, like tax write-offs
and
shit?
Yeah, I've been doing it. Yeah, you have to, because like, and that's the thing. Like when you have an LLC, you'll be able to write off all your shit. Obviously, as a business, a lot of people don't know this. Your business can basically be good for a loss, I think, for like the first 4 years. And it'll be to your benefit. Think about the flights we buy, the gas we put in our car, the clothes we buy. Because then I started talking to the actual tax guy, and he was just like, because he was telling me, Eric, you doing comedy? I'm like, you want to do LLC? Yeah. Literally after 5 months of doing my comedy, he goes, let's do it together. We did it together. We got it going. He was like, did you buy your car or did you lease it? And I was like, I bought it. He's like, fuck. He's like, if you leased it, you could claim the whole payment. I was like, oh, damn. Right? Things that you don't know. But I have my house as my place of business. Guess what I pay in my place of business? Electricity. I pay water. I pay all these things that you can claim. So there's ways that you can get money back. I mean, trust me, the rich people do it already. We just don't know about it. We're not educated on it. And I had to educate myself. So next car I buy, I will be leasing underneath the LLC.
I like that right there. I'm gonna ask for your tax guy after this, bro.
Yeah, he's good. He's really good.
To kind of top this off real quick, short and sweet, man. Say you watch this in 10 years. What do you expect out of yourself?
I hope either I make it or came very close, but if not, I hope that I'm in the position to put people in a better place in comedy entertainment.
Fade to black.